Good day. Let's talk about it. Today we're talking about the reasons you are failing your job interview. And I often talk about this, but it's something that I'm starting to realize it's not an old topic, and it never gets old because I'm still constantly seeing people make these same old mistakes. As a recruiter who's been in this game for over 7-8 years, 15 years in HR, and I'm steady seeing these same issues. So let's just go ahead and dive in to the top reasons why people, and hopefully not you, but you might fit into this category, the top reasons why you're failing your job interview. Number one, you are not researching the company. This falls into that preparation category where you need to have done your homework ahead of time. Now, when you go on your job interview, that person on the other side, they are asking questions. They have your resume, they have questions that they have already prepared that are catered towards their needs. So you, on the other hand, should be doing your proper homework and looking up the company, looking up them. If you have a name of the person that's going to be interviewing you, find out information about them, go on their LinkedIn page. These are things that you should be doing, and they are paying attention. Now, are they sitting around saying, oh, well, they didn't know the background of the company, so they're a big X? Maybe not, but the person that did know the background of the company, or that was paying attention to what was going on in the latest news with the company, they are on the background saying, you know what? I like that they knew we were doing this, and I like that they knew we were doing that. You see what I'm saying? So you want to be sure that you are covering all your bases, okay? So that's the number one thing that is why you're failing your job interview. Next reason why you are failing your job interview is your resume and your cover letter. You need to make sure those are catered and tailored to that specific job you're applying for. Now, not saying that, let's say you're a marketing assistant. I'm not saying you have to make a new resume or cover letter for each marketing assistant job that you apply for. What I'm saying is that is a category. So that is a specific job title. So your resume should be geared towards marketing assistant. Your cover letter should be geared towards why you desire to be a marketing assistant in this company. Those are things you need to tailor specifically. People think that those don't hold as much weight as they do, but they do. So you have to remember, just because you are applying for over 100 jobs, that doesn't mean that they are interviewing over 100 people. So for what I mean by that is, you're exhausted, you're frustrated, you are tired of just applying, but you have to understand they are not in the weeds like you are. So this is their first rodeo for this job. So they're fresh. So if you come on there with a basic Betty or a job or not a job description, if you come on there with a resume or a cover letter that's generic, you haven't done your part. So I encourage you to do that, because that is another thing as to why you are failing, because you're not setting yourself apart from the crowd. Next is the behavioral interview questions. You're not studying for those. Behavioral interview questions, so far, they're not going nowhere, okay? Until there is some other way that companies can gauge how a person is going to be on the job, they're gonna ask about your past. They're gonna ask behavioral-based interview questions. And I'm gonna let you know, I'm just gonna be honest with you here. If you're on the dating scene, if you're looking for a partner, if you're looking for a relationship, we ask questions. We ask about their past and what they've experienced, because that is gonna guide you into figuring out, is this somebody you want to spend time with? Is this someone who potentially you want to make a partner for you? You're going off of their past experiences. So don't, get too pressed on the fact that this is how things are done. These are the rules of the game. Behavioral interview questions are what they use. It may frustrate you. You may not like it, but these This is how the game goes. So it behooves you, if you are wanting to be in this world of corporate America or wherever you're at and you're looking for a regular 9-to-5 job, 9 times out of 10 they're going to be asking you behavioral based interview questions. So I have other videos that go over that information, but you want to use the STAR method. So I'm not going to dive into that right here, but know that the reason why you're failing your job interview is you're not prepared using the STAR method for those behavioral based interview questions. Now let's dive into some of the simple assignment things that I would imagine is common sense, but it obviously isn't for everybody, as to why you're failing your job interview. You're late, okay? When I say late, I mean for a job interview. Now I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. Time management is something that I'm working on this year. I am not the most studious person, and I hate that about myself. But when it comes to job interviews, I'm gonna be on time for my job interview. I'm gonna be on time for a lot of things related to job, career, workplace, things of that nature. Arriving late to your job interview is something that you shouldn't be getting knocked out for. You know, it's something, and I say that because I know that some may think, oh, well, who's even doing that? No, I've interviewed numerous people in numerous type of positions. I'm talking about, you know, lower level to higher level. There are reasons why people give excuses as to why they're late or why they didn't show up or whatever it may be. But I'm telling you, this is a red flag. So be on time, be on time, be on time. 15 minutes early, 10 minutes early is the rule of thumb, which carries me into another reason why you're failing your job interview. You need to have your manners under control, your gestures. You can't be, I want you to be comfortable, but you can't be so relaxed on your job interview. Even as I'm making this video right now, I have my notes. I'm kind of sitting up. Do y'all think if I go watch a movie, I'm gonna be sitting like this? No, I'm about to be kicked back. I'm gonna be comfortable. I'm gonna have my feet up. I'm gonna have my socks off, all of that jazz. But that is not how you come to your job interview. I've had people who've come on a job interview, you know, laid back, you know, no handshakes. You could just kind of tell that their vibe was just chill mode. Not cool, not cool. That's not how you do it, okay? Oh, and another point, don't bring no cup of coffee in your job interview. I don't care who offers you some coffee. Don't bring it in the job interview. Okay, I might be pushing it, but just saying, you know, just you here for one thing and one thing only. You should have had your coffee already. You know, I know sometimes they offer you coffee and they offer you water. I mean, fine, you know, if it's offered to you, but at the same time, your interviewer ain't doing it, or maybe your interviewer did bring some water or they brought some coffee. Let them offer it to you and then let them go get it for you. You know, but you sitting up there, bring your own Starbucks cup, shaking your ice and stuff. Not a good look, not a good look. Also wanted to touch on, and I always have notes, y'all. I don't, why should I go off of memory? I always have notes. Another thing I wanted to touch on is like how you come, not just dressed, your grooming. You know, do you stink? Because that has happened. Or did you come and you're wearing too much perfume or too much cologne? Not cool. You know, people have allergies. You never know what people are allergic to. You never know. Nobody want to be smelling all that the whole time. It's a distraction. It's a distraction. You are focused on one thing and one thing only. You know, no perfume. I like smelling good just like the next person. But when it's a job interview, I don't put no perfume on. I don't put all my rings on. I don't put all my jewelry on. I keep it simple, you know. So come in there, make sure you are groomed, okay? Groomed. I'm not saying you can't wear locks. That is not what I'm saying. I am saying make sure you are presentable. You know, don't look like you just rolled out of bed. And don't look like you are a lumberjack unless you are going for a lumberjack interview. Okay? You want to minimize anything that is going to interfere with you getting the job. And I will talk more about biases later because those exist as well. Again, I know that it's not cool, but this is the world we live in. So you need to figure out how to understand the rules and play by those if you want to succeed and if you want to be a part of that game. I wish a basketball player would go on the court trying to make up his own rules. I wish he would. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Okay? Let's talk about communication issues as to why you're failing your interview. People, and now I know it's gonna be really difficult because people are so busy on their phones, on social media, on texting. This new generation, they don't talk a lot from what I hear, especially when they're developing a relationship, getting to know new people. You need to touch up on your public speaking, your communication skills. So let's start with talking about selling yourself. You know, that's what the whole job interview is about. You're failing your interview because you haven't rehearsed or practiced how to sell yourself. You need to focus on, it's a handful of things that you can focus on. Like, you need to have your achievements already outlined that you want to intertwine into your interview answers, okay? Think about projects that you've held or ran or been a part of. Think about your accomplishments. Think about things that you've been praised about on performance evaluation. Think about those things and intertwine those into your answers ahead of time because you want to be able to communicate that. If you're not able to communicate and highlight some of your skills or your strengths and things of that nature, it's going to make you appear that you lack confidence in your ability to do the job, and it's going to make you appear that you're not the right fit. You know, so you want to set yourself up. You want to be comfortable, confident, and secure on your job interview. I also want to add that person interviewing you need to be able to gauge their vibe. Okay, I don't have this in my notes, but this is a part of the communication. You want to be able to adapt to their vibe. You want to be able to see, are they someone who is allowing me to be, how is this a conversational interview? Is this a interrogative interview? Is it straightforward? Is it direct and to the point? I need you to be able to pick up on these things, okay? This all goes underneath your communication and is, again, another reason why you're failing the job interview. With that said, do not give dishonest answers, okay? Do not give inconsistent answers. Inconsistent meaning earlier in the interview, you prefer to work alone, and then later in the interview you mention, I'm cool with working as a team. Inconsistent, make it make sense. They're taking notes on this, and the reason why you could easily do that is because you're not prepared and you had not practiced what your answers are going to be ahead of time. And a reason why you could be doing that is because you're a liar. You need to be truthful on your interview. Okay, you need to be truthful. Because if you start off with being a liar, you start off with not being truthful, you're gonna get a job and you're gonna have to keep up this act, or your true self is gonna come out, and then guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna get fired during that probationary period, or you're gonna be miserable and they're gonna be miserable, and then you're gonna be leaving anyway. I say, scratch all that. Be truthful. Be consistent with your answers. Be honest. Be professional. Be upfront. Okay? And just kind of, I guess you know what this means. But you just be truthful. Keep your answers true to who you are. What are your goals? You need to be thinking about that. What are your salary goals? What is your work environment goals? I had a job interview where I really wasn't looking for full-time. I applied for the job because it wasn't full-time. They asked me about it on the interview, and I let them know why I wasn't looking for full-time. I was looking for full-time because I would like to still do what I'm doing and have a job on the side and be in the forefront of my children's lives like I want to now. Did I mention that? Yes, I did. You want to know why? Because it's true to who I am. It's true to who I am. And I mentioned it because during the interview, I felt comfortable. That interviewer made me feel comfortable being myself. And like I always say, if they don't like you for you, then screw them. It's my motto. Got it from my daddy. I also wanted to mention when it comes down to being consistent and not inconsistent and engaging with the interviewer, you just want to be sure that you are, upbeat and engaged. Well, we know what engagement is. Engagement is not withdrawn. You want to be, don't give short answers. Give thorough answers. If they ask you how's your day going, don't just say it's going fine. Don't just say that. Y'all gotta have to. You're gonna have to elaborate. It was a snow day here. I said, it's going fine. My kids are outside shoveling snow. Gotta put them to work. And then I have to see, me personally, I see if they laugh at that because I like to be humorous. If they don't laugh at it, then no more jokes for this interview, or no more, what I'm saying? So you have to gauge these things. Last but not least, and I should have probably made this the number one thing, but the main reason why you're failing your job interview, and this is what I see constantly, is the rambling. That part of communication. The rambling is killing you. The rambling, it loses us. We are lost in the rambling. So how do you avoid rambling? You avoid rambling by studying, setting up your answers ahead of time, and using the STAR method. Keep yourself on track by doing the situation, the task, the action, and the result of it, or the resolution. Keep yourself on track. Don't ramble. Keep your answer underneath a minute and a half. It sounds short, but I promise you it's not. Now, I did want to mention, like I was stating earlier, about people being biased, and I have this written down because I don't want to forget it. On the job interview, you are going to run into people that are biased. So with that being said, I hate to say it, but this is why all of those things I mentioned earlier are so important for you to not fail at, because you already are interviewing with a human being. You're not interviewing with a robot, which I'm sure that's going to come, but you're not interviewing with a robot. You're interviewing with a human being who has human feelings, who has biases, who is not perfect. So you want to avoid being caught up in these biases because of your appearance, because of your speaking style, because of your personality, whether it's charismatic, whether it's kind of dry, whether it's louder, giggly, or whatever. You want to avoid being caught up in these biases because you don't want them making decisions based upon their feelings and their gut. And well, they just kind of seem like, you don't want them making those type of decisions. You want them to be making decisions based off of your skill set. Again, those things you can minimize by following. If you just look at some of the other videos that I have, you can minimize those failures by not rambling. You can minimize those things by practicing the STAR method, practicing those basic interview questions. You can minimize those things by making sure your appearance is together, by making sure you don't wear perfume that is distracting, making sure you take time to prepare accordingly. I hope this helped you, and I will see you next time.